Okay, so I'm crazy. But you don't have to stare, do you? Yeah, I know. Christmas Eve is no time to be hanging around after closing hours, but by golly, if you were in my shoes, you'd... Oh, well, what's the use? How can I expect you to believe it when I'm not even sure it happened myself? But there's one thing you gotta admit. Christmas Eve's not like other nights. Some mighty strange things can happen. And Christmas Eve last year, something did happen around here. It was along about closing time, and Jerry and I were just getting ready to lock up.
Merry Christmas, Charlie. See you in a couple days.
Okay, Jerry. Merry Christmas to you, too. Next day, being a holiday and all, we'd been pretty busy and we're a little late getting away. Jerry, my assistant, had gone, and just as I got the cash checked in, wouldn't you know it?
Real Christmas weather we're having, huh? May I fill the... Hello?
Oh, hi, Santa?
2 gallons of regular, please.
Yeah, okay. Pretty big night, huh? I mean, keep it on schedule?
Well, matter of fact, I'm running a little late tonight.
Yeah, okay, a couple of gallons of regular. Coming up.
Thanks, Charlie.
Oh, you know me, huh? Who is it, Sweeney? Doc Ferguson?
Pardon?
No, I mean, who is it? I mean, who are you?
Who am I? What? Santa Claus. Who'd you think I was?
No, what are you, one of those Salvation Army guys, or from the department stores, or...
Charlie, do I look like one of them?
Okay, Santa. All right. Guy wants to be Santa Claus. All right, so what? It's a free country. And to tell you the truth, he had on the best-looking Santa Claus outfit I'd ever seen. And another thing, that car was jammed, but loaded with sacks of toys and stuff, all kinds of things. I figured some kid's sure gonna strike it rich on Christmas morning. Well, I got the gas in, and then I happened to notice Say, you better let me check that left rear. It's pretty low.
Well, you can't tonight, Charlie. I haven't got time. Maybe next year. Anyway, thanks for the gas.
Okay, that'll be,
Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, wait a minute. Look, you know, you haven't paid me for the gas yet, huh?
You mean to say that you're going to charge me for 2 gallons of gas on Christmas Eve?
Hey, now, look, Mac, Okay. Look, we'll just call this a Christmas present from me to you, huh? Just one thing. What are you going to give me for Christmas?
Well, now, I don't know. What do you think you'd like?
Money.
Well, I'm afraid we couldn't give it to you in cash, Charlie. Wouldn't it amount to about the same thing if we gave it to you in new business?
New business? Oh, fine. What kind of business you going to be giving me this time, huh?
Well, now, how about some new tire business? Say, how'd you like to sell, say, 300 new tires next year?
300? Well, who am I supposed to sell them to?
People, customers. You just pick out the new tire prospects and go on from there.
Oh, just pick them out, huh? How?
Oh, you'll know 'em for the sound of bells.
The what?
Just listen for the sound of bells. Like this.
Oh, brother. Whew. Hey, you sell tires here?
Huh?
All right. So it was just a coincidence. But the guy did buy a tire, and he's been a steady gas and oil customer ever since. As for the sound of bells, well, everybody's ringing bells on Christmas Eve, so I didn't put any too much stock in that. But somehow I just couldn't seem to get that old guy off my mind. Well, of course, we were closed on Christmas Day, but bright and early on the morning of the 26th, Tom Tyler and his wife drove in for gas. Mrs. T was in the driver's seat. She most generally is. So I'd gone around to the other side to collect. Okay, Mr. Tyler, that'll be $3.45. Say, where'd you get that jazzy... Oh, yeah. Out of 5, huh? All right. That's 54 and 5. Okay, Tom, thanks a lot, and hurry. What's the matter? Did you hear anything? Huh? Tom, you better let me check those tires.
Tires? Why? Is one of them leaking? Is that what you heard?
No, I thought I heard some bells.
Bells? Look, Charlie, I'm kind of late getting downtown.
Look, Tom, I know you're in a hurry, but this will only take a second.
Okay.
But kind of hurry it up, will you? Say, Tom, these tires are getting pretty slick. Take a look. That tread's almost gone.
And I could have sworn the last time I looked at them, they were darn near new.
Well, how often do you look at them?
Oh, I don't know. Often as the next guy, I guess.
Well, Tom, that's the point. People don't look at their tires often enough.
Well, I managed to get in here a couple times a week, and this is the first you've mentioned them.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess I'm not doing my job then because, well, it is my job to keep a lookout for leaks and breaks and the like. You know, after all, I've got to protect my customers. You're the people who keep me in business, you know. I can't afford to have you skidding around on tires as slick as these are. That's risky.
Yeah, but after all...
They're going into their dangerous days, Tom. The time when 90% of the trouble that can happen to a tire does happen. Flats, blowouts, you get them in the last 10% of a tire's life. That's what you're going into now.
You're probably right, Charlie, but right now I'm in no position to throw any mileage that's left on these tires. I'll remember what you told me, though, and take it kind of easy.
Well, now, look, I wouldn't want you to throw away those tires and the service they've got left in them. Wouldn't expect you to, Tom. I'll buy the mileage in these. I'll pay you for those dangerous days that are coming up. And I'll give you that time on new tires, any new tires that you want. We'll pick out the tires that, well, suit you best, and I'll give you full allowance on these.
Well, later, maybe. I'll have to think it over.
Well, okay. Thanks a lot, Tom.
Well, I'm certainly not going to risk my life on those old tires. You can just buy new ones.
Charlie, I've been thinking over what you said, and I guess you better figure on putting a couple of new ones on this evening, okay?
Well, that's all there was to it. I heard the bells, I checked the tires, and just like that. He bought 2 new tires, and I make a neat profit out of it. And of course, that's just my first profit out of the sale, my new tire profit. Naturally, when you sell a new tire, you generally have to figure on taking in an old one. Common sense will tell you that. But you know, it's pretty easy to let those old tires just kind of pile up, and then you wind up by junking the whole lot a couple of times a year. And that isn't common sense. As a matter of fact, it's pretty seldom that old tires have to be junked. Some of them are good enough to go out as is, with a lot of miles left in them. And many of them can be recapped to give plenty of good, reliable service. And those used tires mean another profit, a second profit on every tire sale, if a fellow's willing to go after it. And believe me, it's worth going after. Well, getting back to the bells, as time went on, it seemed I began hearing them more and more. Of course, I didn't mention them to anybody, but I kept on hearing them just the same. And the more I heard the bells, the more I started thinking tires and checking tires, and the more tire business I did. Say, you better come out here and check this right front tire. In fact, I got to talking tires and kind of listening for those bells every time a car drove in. And they didn't let me down. Some of them had me stumped for a while, but if I looked far enough, it turned out those bells were right every time. And they didn't just ring when a customer was around. In fact, I learned that one of the best places to really check a tire was on the lube rack. You got time to do it right, and you can find things you'd never see on the drive. Get a lot of service out of that new tire, Mr. Cromwell. And I noticed sometimes they didn't stop ringing even after a tire sale. Excuse me a second, Mr. Cromwell. Here, I wanted to show you this new tube, Mr. Cromwell.
This tube will be okay. It's not as old as the tire was.
I know, but let me show you something. Now, both of these tubes are the same size, but this one's stretched a little with your old tire. Now it's still in fair shape, but if you put that old tube in your new tire, it's liable to buckle and get pinched. It goes flat, and not only do you have to buy a new tube, but chances are, well, you injure your new tire.
These tubes are the same size?
Yep. The bells worked so good that I didn't argue with them. Even when I was sure there wasn't a chance for a tire sale, I'd go ahead and check them anyway. Well, they seem to be okay, sir. A little worn, naturally, but, oh, you got a good 5,000 to 6,000 miles left on them. We'll keep checking them for you and help you get as much safe service as you can out of them.
Well, look,
what kind of a trade-in allowance could you give me on these now?
Oh, on tires as good as those? We can make a good deal with you, sir. Bring it in a couple of months, and we'll see what we can work out.
Well, I think maybe I'd like to get some new ones put on now. You see, my wife and I are driving to Mexico next week, and, well, you know, we don't want any trouble down there.
Well, sir, I think we can take care of it. See what I mean? After a few months of hearing bells, well, I got the thing figured. Wherever there's a wheel is a potential tire sale. And I didn't have to sell them. I just checked them and they bought. You know, I guess everyone has had a flat or a blowout at one time or another, and they realize how important good tires are. Even Mr. Jones, who thought a differential was a mathematical equation. All right, sir, if you'll release the catch, I'll check the oil and water.
Oh, it's all right. I had the grease changed last month, but you might take a look at the batteries. They're the same ones that came with the car.
All right, sir.
Oh, and you might check the carbohydrator while you're there.
The what?
The carbo, the thing that has to be set. You know, a friend of mine told me that's one thing. Never mind. I remember I had the filter changed just last week. Just check the batteries, please.
For all Jones knew, there might have been a couple of squirrels on a treadmill under that hood. But he knew what his car rolled on. Anyone who's ever had a flat does.
What's the matter? Something dragging?
No, sir, just checking your tires. They're not in very good shape.
Tires? What's wrong with the tires?
Well, it's something that happens to lots of tires. Uneven wear.
Uneven? What do you mean uneven? Got these tires the same time. Came with the car.
Well, I mean, that's got nothing to do with it. It's just regular driving, you know, starting and stopping. Well, it's liable to get the front wheels a little bit out of line.
Oh?
Come here, I'll show you what I mean. Now, you can see right here how much more your tires have worn on the inside. Another car may wear toward the outside, and sometimes the center of the tread becomes smooth. Well, that's from overinflation. And toward the outer edges, well, that's from not having enough pressure in them. But the most important thing about keeping these tires in good shape at all times is to keep the correct amount of air pressure in them. But the point is that tires wear out twice as fast when you have uneven wear. And the only way to make sure you're getting even wear, besides checking, of course, to see that your wheels are in line, is to cross-switch your tires if you notice it happening. I'm afraid yours are pretty well gone, sir. You're ready for some new ones, on the front at least.
I hate to have a flat. Frankly, I'm not at all mechanically minded. I can't seem to get the jack to, well, go up. What kind of tires do you have?
Well, that all depends on what you need. Why don't you step over here in the office, and I'll show you what we have, and then you can decide. Now, I don't mean to give you the idea that the Bells sold any tires. They just reminded me to, well, think tires, check tires, and talk tires. And on top of that, I started making my displays better. That helped a lot. You gotta let people know you've got tires to sell. There are always customers who just don't like to buy anything until it's too late. But they can be handled. Say, you got a bad break in that casing, Mr. Kranz. I wouldn't take a chance on it if I were you.
You would if you had to put out the dough for a new tire.
Well, I mean, it's only a matter of time, and I'd hate to see you stuck out in the country with the flat, or worse yet, a blowout.
Yeah, that'd break my heart. Look, never mind the sales pitch. There's your $2.
All right, sir, thanks very much, and come back, huh? Oh, Mr. Kranz, keep this card in your car, will you, and give me a call when you have any trouble.
What do you mean if I have any trouble?
Well, we run a pickup service, you know, tires, batteries. Get stalled somewhere, we'd like to have your business.
All right. What'd you say was wrong with that tire?
Well, sold another one.
Boy, you sure gave Kranz a business.
Oh, I don't know. I think we did him a favor.
Yeah, I suppose so. You think we're in the tire business, they're running the service station. And what confuses me is how we could do so much business with that big tire store practically next door.
Well, you know what amazes me is how they do any tire business at all.
Holy smoke, Charlie. That's all they do. They concentrate on selling tires. They have trained salesmen out hustling up customers.
All right, now, Jerry, that's my point. We don't have to hustle customers. We already got them. Why, we see their cars every time they come in for gas. We don't have to be salesmen. All we have to do is to be servicemen. If we check every tire, we can't miss a sale. You know, we're the only ones who get a chance to check those tires a couple of times a week and talk to the customer about them. Nobody has an opportunity like that. And you know, Jerry, actually, we watch those tires wear out a little at a time. And before they have trouble, we put on a new set. And if we do that, why, tire business is a cinch.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Charlie.
The thing is, Jerry, they got to buy tires someplace, and they'd rather buy them from us. It's handier, and, well, they got confidence in us, or they wouldn't be our customers. If we give them good service, help them keep their tires in shape, well, when they need new ones, all we got to do is speak up. We don't have to sell them. They just buy them. Even without the bells.
Brother, what'd you say?
Oh, it's not a...
There's a car.
Jerry, let me show you what I mean. Good afternoon, sir. Having a little tire trouble, are you?
Tire trouble? I just wanted some... What did you want to do that to my tire for?
Look, I mean, I didn't mean to...
You got tacks in your driveway or something?
No, that isn't the...
How did you know my tire was going to blow out?
Well, I can explain what...
Go ahead. I'd like to hear how you explain this.
Explain it? How do you explain a thing like that? How do you tell people you hear the sound of bells when there aren't any bells? What do you think you're... Well, I don't believe you. Like you. You don't believe it. You think it's my imagination, huh? Well, okay, maybe so. Except for one thing. We've done more tire business in this 1 year than we have in the past 3 years. Now, that's not imagination. In fact, I was checking up this afternoon between last Christmas Eve and tonight. Do you know how many new tires we sold? 300. Not 299, but 300. Exactly. Now, how do you explain that? Well, anyhow, that's why I'm sticking around again late tonight. I know it sounds silly. Maybe I'm entering my second childhood, but if that old guy does come around again tonight, I want to see him. I want to find out if he really is.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Look, are you the same...
How's it going?
I've been waiting for you. Are you the same guy who was in here last Christmas?
Yeah.
Promised me a Christmas present?
Mm-hmm.
300 new tire sales?
Yeah. Did you get them?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. And that's what's driving me nuts. How did you know? I mean, who... Look, how do you make those bells work?
Why, that's easy. Just like this. I was hoping it'd last another year, but I guess I'll have to buy a new one.
Now, wait a minute. If I sold you a new tire, that'd make it number 301. And you said I'd sell just 300. Well, I'll be doggone if I'm going to make a liar out of Santa Claus on Christmas Eve.
You mean you want to sell me a tire?
No, I'll just give you one. I still don't believe it, you understand, but, well, this one's on the house.